Hello, and here we are for the last part of our tutorial, and which is the post-production. So we're gonna take this image to a next level. So open your free renders here. I mean the render with the two passes here. We've got the Z-depth pass, the reflection glossiness pass, and the render itself. So before doing anything, I will explain you a little bit the workflow. So what I'm gonna do is take this the reflection pass and composite, so we get some more reflections and more brightness in our image. Okay. And after that, I'm gonna use the Z-depth pass to focus on our two mushrooms, okay? And after that, we're gonna do the color corrections and everything, with the gradient overlay, photo filter, etc., to get a nice image. So let's get started. I wanna pick Control-I, the reflection pass, and then Control-V, and then pass this pass to screen mode, and as you can see, it gets too bright. We got this stains here on the mushroom's head, etc. So drop the opacity very down, like 30%, and you can see that we got some improvements. It's lighter and it's more green, or it goes for greenish yellowish color, but we have some of the stains here. So take your eraser tool with an opacity like 25% and come over here and just erase some of these parts. Okay, just until it looks good to you. Okay, like that. I think it's fine for us. I can also do some touch-ups here around the ground if you want to get some of the reflections. As here, I want it to be slightly dark. Okay, here I don't want too much reflection here, but I want to preserve the ones in the back. Okay, so it will give a nice effect to our scene. Okay. Here maybe. Okay, that's alright. This is the difference between the two. It's lighter in the back, and this is what I was searching for. Now let's talk about the Z-depth pass. Okay, how do we apply Z-depth pass in Photoshop? It's simple. We're gonna duplicate our layer, create a layer mask, copy and paste the Z-depth into the layer mask, and then apply our lens blur. It's easy, very easy to do that. So we'll not find a problem. And on the first view, the Z-depth will not give us the result I'm searching for. So I have to tweak it. And what I did in 3D Studio Max is that I directly rendered the Z-depth pass, so I can show you that you can modify, change its depth, etc. And by simply playing with the gray and white colors. So let's do that. So do Control M on the background here. Control M. Oops, I think it's because the screen recorder is being launched. So go to Image Adjustment and search for Curves. Here it is. And I want to take this back here and the background, if I could say, very dark, so it will be very blurry. Okay, so you can see all the depth we have here, very dark, like that, and take the maximum amount of whiteness on the background, like that maybe. What I'm gonna do now is come over here and select our two mushrooms using the pen tool here. And with that, we're gonna especially focus on these two. Okay, so let's do this. Take your pen tool, press P, come over here. You have to make a perfect selection. Okay, so for the sake of tutorial, I'm gonna go fast, but you have to deal with that carefully, because any modification could be very visible. Any modification which is not well done could be very visible. So we have to fake it. A lot of people are spending too much time on changing settings for their cameras in 3D Studio Max, etc. And I have to admit that the first time I used Z-Depth, I don't really know how to parameter the V-Ray physical camera or any kind of camera so that I get a nice Z-Depth. So I started directly modifying it in Photoshop, and it gives me results better than I can imagine. So see the way that the best solution for you and use it. There is no better thing than experimenting. So I'm assuming that you use perfectly the pen tool, so I will not go through all this process here. And finally come like over here, okay, and do something like this. Now convert that to selection, make selection, okay, and now press L and click on refine edge. Okay, as you can see, this is our selection. It's pretty sharp, etc. So we're gonna use the smart radius and get this radius to a little bit high, so it's not sharp as it was, and get a little bit of feather. Not too much, like 1. I think it's gonna be nice. And click OK. So for this one, I'm gonna do a Control U and brighten it a bit. Or maybe not. I'm gonna just go to Image Adjustment and go to Levels, and then bring the white parts in. Always try to have the best balance between mid-tones and white tones. As here, I want especially to focus on, and as you can see here, it's very visible. So before doing that, I advise you to copy this and do Control V, and then do your level settings. Okay, so I really love modifying the Z-depth passes so I can control exactly what I want to see, and what, even if it's not physically accurate, sometimes really it's better than I can imagine. And then just copy, just erase with the eraser tool the parts that you want to be focused on, like these parts here, as you can see. Okay, so that's alright. Next, I'm gonna do the same for this one here. So rapidly, I'm gonna do rapid selection here, like that. It's very quick. So result may be not very good, but let's deal with that. Something like this. Okay, make selection. Okay, L. So we select the lasso tool to have the refine edge, and then smart radius. Maybe not that much, and get the feather to 1. It's really quick, I admit it. So don't do it like me. Take all your time. So press Ctrl L to open the levels, and then let's do our tweaking. So assuming that it's a little bit behind the first one, so it will be less brighter. So we have something like this for our 2 mushrooms, and as you can see here we've got this grass blades coming over here, so we can easily erase here, so we don't get too much. Something like this, maybe. No, it's not. It's really visible. Just tweak the settings, okay? So you can use also the lasso tool here with just to select these plates like that. Okay, you go through this rapidly. Then we're gonna use the smart radius so that we have some smoothness, etc. So refine edge, get the radius smart, maybe a little bit, not too much feather, and add a bit of contrast like that. Okay, and then come over here on layer 2 and delete. Press multiple times on delete, and you got something like this. Okay, so I'm now also darken a bit these if I wanted, but I don't think I'm gonna do that, or just a little bit so they don't be too much visible. Sorry. Select your background like that, Control U, get it down like this, and maybe do the same thing with that. I think it's gonna work fine. So do Control Shift E to merge all the visible layer, and do Control A, Control C, and then go back to our image. Here you do also a Control Shift E, and then go to Layer, Layer Mask, unlock your background here and duplicate it. Then go to Layer Mask, Reveal All. Go to Channels, and here you will see our Layer Mask channel. Make it visible, do Control V, and as you can see, our Z depth applied already, so it's ready to work. Go back to Layers and click on this layer icon here, or image icon. Control D to deselect, and then go to Filter, Blur, Lens Blur. And here is where the magic parts begin. Okay, now we're gonna tweak the settings so that we get the result we want here. I see that our mushrooms are too much blurry, so we need to change the blur focal distance so that they appear very sharp and all these go blurry. Okay, so let's do that. Oops. I admit that my computer is a bit slow, so sorry if you have some incomprehensive actions. So I think, as you can see here, we've got these blades here that came here and are very sharp, and we don't want them to be as sharp as they are because they're in front of our camera, and the mushrooms are way back, backward. So we need to fix that. Make them, maybe this one, make it lighter, okay, and this one I think it's pretty cool. So I'm gonna cancel, go back to my Z depth, do Control Alt Z to go back to our two layers, select them and make them brighter with the levels. So go to image, merge them, and then go to image adjustment levels here and make them brighter, even brighter. Maybe like this here, brighter possible. Okay, I think it's gonna be alright. For these two we're gonna also modify it. So select them with the lasso tool, and this is the funniest part really of the project, where you are searching for the best Z depth map. I think we could have maybe good results also with 3D Studio Max directly, but I really like working like that. I love spending time on my projects so that they look unique. So pretty much of these. Maybe like that. Okay, so Control E, Control A, Control C, you know the trick. I'm gonna delete this mask here. Okay, delete layer mask, reveal all channels, make you visible, Control V, layers, click on this one, filter, blur, lens blur. I think now we're gonna get some nice results. Okay, actually this brightness is due to the threshold and the brightness here, so just get this up and it will be fixed. Okay, so here it is. As you can see, our blades has been blurred, so we need to focus on our mushrooms now. Get the radius down to something which is not too much blurry, and search for the best focal distance. I think it's the 255 is the best result we can have. And as you can see here, changing the focal distance will change the blur. Here you can see that our foreground is very blurry and the background is almost sharp. So take it to 255, as it's the widest part. It's gonna be very it's gonna be the maximum here. So here I like to work with hexagon, and the hexagon, for example, if you take a closer look here, I'm gonna show you here. You can see that we have this kind of circular shapes here. This kind of circular shapes are due to the shape here. We can use triangles, and as you can see, I get they are triangles. So here you can see by changing the blade curvature, the blur is also affected. Okay, so getting a high curvature will make it more blurry. Okay, so now what I want to do also is show you the rotation. You can rotate your shape in any way you want. Okay, and now what we're gonna tweak is the specular highlight brightness. So here you control the brightness. I don't want to be very bright, and here is the threshold. So we're gonna apply with threshold to bring in some of the details, as it was wet, etc. So reflecting light. So this is the kind of effect I'm searching for. So get a little bit the radius high. And here is our mushrooms. I think we've got some nice results here. Okay, and now sorry for that. And as you can see here, we don't see anything. The difference between the two images is very poor. And the why it looks like that is the fact is that we have our layer mask applied to our image. So it hides some of the parts, especially the darkest one. As you can see, the background is very sharp, and as you can see here, our background is very dark. And this is why we see it clearly. So we need to delete this mask. So go back to click and drag and drop it onto this trash here and delete it. And as you can see, we have our lens blur applied almost perfectly. Why almost? Because we're gonna do some touch-ups so that it looks very nice. The first of these gonna be playing with these two layers here, as I want to bring in some of the details and hide some. So what I want to do here is take your eraser here and select your blurred mask. Take a big size, okay, and come over here to the head and start erasing a bit. Don't too much, because we don't want to lose our blur. Okay, we just want to bring in some of the details. So I'm pick square, circular. take down the opacity also to avoid having some issues, and make it a little bit bigger. Sorry, a little bit bigger, and you can come over here and start doing your touch-ups. And here, as we want it to be a little bit in focus. I think it's too much in focus. Yeah, something like this. And now get a little bit the opacity up and do some touch-ups here like that. Yeah, something like this. Okay, so this looks pretty nice. Okay, so what I want to do is come back to our Z depth, go back 2 times, Control Alt Z, and once you have your mushroom selected, do a select, save selection, and call it mush. Okay, go back to render and do select, load selection, and search for Z depth here, and it's called mush. Okay, and here you have your selection, and what I will do is go to filter, sharpen, sharpen. Okay, you see we have a better result, and this what it was looking, and this is how it looks. Now we're gonna do some changes, especially in the size of our image. Maybe like that. Get a closer image. Just got it like this, and then we're gonna work a little bit on some color correction. So pick these 2 layers, do Control G and hide them, and duplicate this group, and then make it visible. And what are we gonna do? Yes, merge group, and here it is. Okay, so let's do some touch-ups. For first time, what I want to is apply curve, and then just take it down and do like a very small S curve like this. Next, I'm gonna go to red channel and bring in some of the reds, and go to blue and take down and bring in some of the blue here. For the green, also bring it down so we have some magenta effect. I want to give it a warmy tint, so this is it. Now what we're gonna do is desaturate a bit, so as you can see, with and without saturation, so we don't lose too much in our mushrooms. Also, I really like to use it. It's a new the photo filter adjustment layer, which will give you ability to choose, like, for example, I don't know how you call it, filters, color filters, yeah. And here you have some nice filters you can apply, and apply sepia, and take it up like this. Yes, I'm gonna preserve luminosity, and as you can see, we already have some very good results, as you can see, with and without. Here you can see that all the depth we brought to our image. Oops. Okay, now we're gonna add a level layer. Yes. We want to bring in the lights and give it lot of depth. Okay, so this is what I want to do. So bring in the light, and then select your brush tool and your brush tool, and start doing some touch-ups on these parts. So we delete a little bit of this here dark areas, so we get back to our image. And as you can see, with look at all the depth we brought to our image. So it looks very, how can we say that, depthful. I don't know, I have no word to explain what I want to do, but what I want to say. But as you can see, there is between that and this one, there is like a word. Okay, so I'm gonna let it like this, and now what I will do is simply add like a vignette. So come to this corner here, choose the marquee tool, elliptical, and then come to this corner here, and here just right in the corner, and then do like that. And as you can see, we have this selection like this. Do Ctrl-Shift-E to invert your selection, and then create a new layer, call it whatever you want. I call it vignette. I don't know how to call it, whatever you want. And here choose any kind of color. I want to choose like a blue color, so we contrast with this warmy here effect. So blue color, click here. Okay, and then go to blur, Gaussian blur, and then apply this kind of blur. Okay, so and here choose search for a transfer mode, or simply change the opacities, whatever you want. I'll use multiply I used multiply for my image, but you can search for others, and let's see together if there is. This one also looks good, soft light. This one, maybe with playing with some of the opacity, it's gonna be very well. Yeah, color also, but for me it's gonna be multiply. Oops, multiply, bringing down a little bit the opacity, and as you can see, here is the image we started with, and here is what we finished with. This is, oops, sorry. This is the image we've rendered. Yeah, it's the render from Photoshop, from 3D Studio Max, and here is once it's finished. Look at that, looking very nice. I love it. So do Ctrl-Shift-N to create a new layer, call it final. And this is a trick I always do. Go to image, apply image, and then it will merge all the layers from the source render here. The channel, okay, the blending, or you choose whatever, and then do okay. Whatever you want, I want it to say. So here's your image. So if I just added all these layers, I would have only my final image. So if I'm not happy with that, I can delete it, tweak the settings, and then. So you can, for example, for what I want to do here, I think you'll have to modify this image, then you duplicate it, etc. So you're gonna lose a little bit of time doing that. But for this here, I want just to apply some blur over there. Okay, so it's not as sharp as it looks. So blur tool, take it a bit down like this, and blur it a little bit like this here. Yes, it looks better. You have also the sharpen tool if you want to sharpen more your mushrooms here, bring in some of the details, etc. So this depending on what you want to achieve. For me it looks pretty nice right now. Maybe adding a little bit of blur here. Yes, like that. Yeah, it's looking perfect, I think. And finally, I'm gonna apply gradient map overlay Here you can, and this is the part I love. Really, here what you're gonna do is, depending on your image, tints, etc., you're gonna apply gradient overlay. For example, here I've got gray, so all here what's white gonna be gray, and all what's dark gonna be blue. And here you can really achieve some mind-blowing result. Okay, so I love using this one here. In most of cases it worked very well. It gives a very warmy effect, especially when I think using overlay transfer mode, lighten mode, sorry. And here you have 50%, and really it really do the trick of giving a next level to your image, as you can see here. All this. So do Control A, new layer, and then we're gonna do edit, stroke. I'm gonna apply a blue, a very light blue color inside 5 pixel. Here we have it. Go to overlay, then do select all again, and do edit, select, modify. Oops, sorry, I made a mistake. Yes. Create a new layer, and then take your marquee tool, or maybe you can select the layer 1 and then invert selection. Go select, modify, contract of 4 or let's say 3 pixels, and then do edit, stroke, 2 pixels inside. Okay. Look at that. Isn't it looking so beautiful? And for the final touch up, let's add this one here. Control V, and put it somewhere. Somewhere here. We can sharpen it. This is not really, I think, what you will do, but I'll do it for the CG Dots community. So it's looking perfect. See, you can, I'm not apply a lighten mode. So maybe they did like this. Even if we change the color, it's gonna be good. So I think we finished our tutorial making this image. I really enjoyed teaching you this, and I really loved doing this image here. It was very inspirational for me. So I hope you really enjoyed this tutorial and you find it useful. You'll learn a lot of things. Don't forget to comment, and thank you very much for watching all the tutorial. Bye, and see you next time on CG Dots Plus.